I'm from Portola Medical Foundation. We're a team of volunteers from industry that have decided to turn our lives over to the improvement of medical concepts for Stanford Medical Center, as well as the International Red Cross. And first I'm going to start with something for mental retardation. Not a nice subject, but this little thing, this little packet is from Procter & Gamble. It costs 3 cents, and it will produce 3 liters, 3 of these things. I'm sorry, wait, it'll produce 10 of these things for 3 cents. And I got this water from the lake behind Stanford. Now remember, I said 1 little packet will make 3 liters of clear, sterile drinking water. Now at the end of this, there'll be a presentation from Procter & Gamble of how this works in the field. That can just take care of itself. Well, we go over here and address breast cancer. Breast cancer is a bit of a chore. Of course, it happens all too often, but the traditional crutch, as you know, is very painful. It pushes up in the back, up in the front. What happens is with the pressure in the back, it gets swollen. Blood doesn't like to go through swollen tissue. And up in the front, you're going right into breast tissue. And again, you're cutting off blood flow to the breast. So you're mashing away on the breast while you cut off blood flow through here. Now, what is between here and here on the breast? What's between the back and the front on the breast? Well, there's some breast tissue, but lymph nodes. So if you're on a crutch and I didn't bring mine today, darn it. If you're walking along, you have to keep it tight under your arm. Or if you hit the ground, it'll fly out in front of you. You're supposed to keep it up and away. Now the idea is so that you won't bang, 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 crunch away on, mash your underarm. So what happened is we were approached by Stanford, wouldn't we please redesign the traditional underarm crutch so it wouldn't mash the underarm and it wouldn't cause breast cancer. It also would minimize lumpectomies because that's where you have to remove the, what are we talking about? The lymph nodes. Let's go back here. What did we do? The 49ers, the San Francisco 49ers wanted this thing. They wanted something up here like this that was comfortable and that their players could get back on the field with more quickly. They could actually run on the field. God knows they're beat up enough. Then they got to get back and get beat up some more. Anyway, the players needed to get back more quickly. And so we were asked to come up with a crutch that would work better. And we did. This is it. Another thing is the way this is offset, it's out a little bit. Between this little flange up here and the fact that this is out and you can grip it, it's not that just old stick, you end up with 4 times the strength. Whatever strength you went in with, if you get on this thing, you're 4 times stronger. So if you have a pair of these things, you're very strong, very stable, and very comfortable. This is, come on, removable to be washed, and it's also made of the softest material. Really, this is the softest material that can be molded. And it has a skin over it so that you can just scrub it off and put it back. Well, scrub it off, let it dry, and then put it back. A few other things. The underarm is really narrow. Put your hand in your underarm and see. The underarm also is not straight. It's got a curve to it. The ones that the crutch, the traditional crutch, is straight and wide and hard. This cover is very hard. And so what we did here is this is the softest material we can get on a very narrow top. Now, the person that took the most time to see that this was properly designed was the team of Joycelyn Dunn, the pretty much chief of breast surgery on Welch Road. And she does most of her work at Stanford. I hope none of you know Joycelyn Dunn, but if you've had breast work done, you probably do. Now, spina bifida and reconstructive hand surgery. Again, Stanford said, could we replace this thing? This is for children. Now, a child who's forever dragging its legs, no use of the legs whatsoever. Got two of these things, and look at my hand. I can rotate my hand all the way over in each direction. And what's happening? Look most of all at these little bones. Now, I'm a child. The bones are not mature, and in very short order, my hand is paralyzed. A lot of my friends, Rod Hentz and the like, go in and reconstruct the child's hand every 2 years. Now, that's not nice. Here's a child who can't walk because he has no use. Look up spina bifida on the web. There's a disruption here in the spinal cord. It's gotten itself caught between two vertebrae, and so everything from here down is gone. You can't walk, you can't do anything, and you can't feel. So this, another cute thing. If a child is on this and falls, he breaks his arm because he can't get out of this. So here's the problem. We had to change this around so the child could not rotate around the grip. All right, so what did we do? We came up with this. Well, we had the help of some surgeons, but we came up with this. Now, I'm an adult, so I'll tell you how this gets sized to a child in just a minute. What happens here is, look, I can't rotate because, well, I've got barriers here. But what would happen if I wanted to fit this to a child? I would just fill this area, fill this around here with a foam, and the child could not rotate his hand around the grip. He couldn't get into the position to cause the need for reconstructive surgery. Now that's what's going on here. Now let's see we also give away computers is another thing. They're kind of special. They're not waterproof, but they're water, how do I say? Well, you can't take them swimming with you, but they're fairly water repellent. And they're very water repellent. Now, they have a unique characteristic that if you're out in the middle of Tanzania, there's no, what would you call them? You can't go into a Starbucks and beam up to to a satellite. These things have a chip in them that does. It connects with a satellite and puts the child on the web. There's nothing that we have on our computers that the child doesn't have. So a child here can learn a language, learn mathematics, learn anything that you and I can learn in school, all free because we're going to give it to them. And there's a little battery in there and one of those things that takes electricity from the sun and recharges the battery. They're very, very inexpensive. Well, we're trying to get it down to $100, but we're down to $150. That's not bad. So we collect money, donate these to the International Red Cross. In a like sense, we donate the, that should be clear by now. Anyway, what happens is we donate these, and now here's something we need help with. Pens. If you can get a computer to the child, and you can get paper to the child, but he can't get a pen to translate what he's learned on the computer to the paper, he's out of luck. Will somebody please step forward, work with Bic, Uniball, whoever else makes pens, and work out some affair so we can buy large quantities of pens and donate them to the International Red Cross so that pens can go with the computers. Oh, and for what it's worth, when you get off the plane in Tanzania, children just descend from all over. You're literally covered with children. And they don't want candy. They want your pen. Again, they can't translate the data from the computer over to the paper without something to translate it with. Something like we use. Now, given time, this water will turn clear like that. But what I can do is show you what's happening. This out of the way. What's happening is that the junk, the contaminant that was in here is falling to the bottom. You can see that. Mental retardation. You've heard that people that live downstream from coal operations have lots of Down syndrome, all kinds of diseases. I saw a child and pushing his father in a wheelchair. Father had a leg blown off, and the father had just come back from Iraq. Well, the bullets of choice are uranium, armor-piercing uranium bullets. The bullet goes through the house, whether or not it takes out any children or not, I don't know. Goes through the house, dust flies around from the bullet. These guys inhale the dust. That dust is heavy metal, like mercury and copper and a lot of other things that come from coal and cause mental retardation. Here's this child pushing his father down the aisle, very proud of his father. His father had his leg blown off. The child had Down syndrome and spina bifida, two diseases that are the result of heavy metals. So two things happen here. One, we clean up the water. I'm sorry, Stanford is good for dirty water, I guess. Anyway, once this is done, this is some of the water, by the way, that came out. What you do is you take this, once all the stuff falls to the bottom, and you pour it through a paper towel into a glass. You'll see that in the little trailer that talks about these being used in the field. It's a nice little trailer. Anyway, back again, you've got, what do? We give away computers. We do this work here. Now, we weren't able to do this at Stanford. We could sterilize the water. Oh, by the way, this water is sterile enough for surgery. We could sterilize the water, but we couldn't drop out the heavy metals. But Norm, Dr. Geck, and I knew some people back at Procter & Gamble, and they have a fabulous lab back there for physical chemistry, and they had already done it. We were trying, but they'd already done it. They had turned out this little packet, and it does what I say it does, and what you'll see in the little film clip. Anyway, this and a lot more, and you'll see on the bottom of the, you'll see our name and how to reach us on a little trailer on the bottom of the presentation. Well, thank you very much.
To over 1 billion people around the developing world, this is considered drinking water. And it doesn't just taste bad. Diseases from this water are killing more kids every year than HIV/AIDS and malaria combined. 4,000 kids every single day. We refuse to accept this, so we're doing something about it. It's called a pure packet, and it's quite simply a miracle to those who need it. One pure packet transforms 10 liters of water contaminated with bacteria and viruses into clean drinking water. And for many, it's the difference between life and death. Imagine seeing and tasting clean water for the very first time. The Children's Safe Drinking Water Program is already saving lives in more than 30 developing countries. Over the last 5 years, we've shared more than 1 billion liters of clean drinking water with people who really need it. And with your help, we plan to donate more than 3.5 billion liters by 2012.